All right. So full moon, moon in general, it's a celestial body. We call it celestial body, but it is the reflection of the sun, and that's what we see. So when it's full, it actually it's not only believed, now it's proven that it amplifies the energies on the planet. So it is already proven that ocean tides get affected by full moon. It is already affected that people's moods are affected by the moon. When we on call, if day is crazy, we say, is that a full moon? Because we know that when it's really busy, when we have a lot of emergencies and crazy cases, it usually because people are not as stable, emotions are not stable, and people get in trouble. So it is already established and proved. The crime rate goes up, the problems in institutions go up, and they found actually, especially people with bipolar disorder, they more pronounced in terms of responding to moon fluctuations. So everything gets amplified. So if you look on yourself, and this is how you just use that energy. People say, "Oh my God, full moon, and all these vampires come out of the Woodstock." It's not it's not what I'm talking about. Yes, there are two parts of each being. Each of us have negative, and each of us have positive, and then everything gets amplified and everything gets magnified. So if I'm a bitch, all that bitchiness will start coming out of me, and I will start probably, even if I don't want to say that, I would say it. If I don't want to do it, I would do it if I am not a balanced person. And same thing if I'm a scared person, if I have anxiety, my anxiety is going to go through the roof because, again, everything gets amplified. All the emotions get amplified. But at the same time, you also have a positive part of you, the something that you can actually use, your strength. And in that case, the best way is to why not to use it? Why not to take advantage of it and harness it? So we're going to talk about this, how to use that energy and how to use it for our advantage and how to understand. Once we understand the moon cycles and moon energies, then we'll be more compassionate to other people. Like if you know that today is a full moon and someone is really losing the thing, then you know why. You know the person probably going through something, and probably that's why they're acting that way. So everything gets amplified. And also, in the same time, everything gets cleansed. Just like in the ocean, the tide goes up and all the junk that we have, everything gets cleansed from the beach. Same thing happens to us as well. Again, if you let it happen, meaning during those times when you start feeling that, it takes a lot of in tuning with yourself and listening to yourself. And if you're feeling, let's say, anxious, you have to just ask yourself, instead of judging yourself, you ask yourself, why am I feeling that way? Why am I feeling anxious? Is there fear? Where is that fear? Because moon is amplifying now and showing me that this is the fear that you need to work on. It doesn't have to be fear of heights, fear of people, fear of whatever. It's just the energy of fear. So in general, maybe that's what moon as a teacher, Mrs. Moon, is giving you that task and say, work on this, please, my child. Work on it. And then once you start digesting it, you start feeling that it's actually releasing and you are cleansing yourself. So this is one of the rituals that we women, again, lost it, unfortunately. There's a lot of beautiful understandings and rituals and traditions that women everywhere, in every culture, everywhere in the world, kept and still keeping, but modern world kind of lost it, and we're trying to go back to it. And I think it's very important for us to understand how our cycle, our menstrual cycle, also connected to moon. That's why we call it moon cycle, because it's 28 days. Healthy cycle is 28 days. Any deviation from that is considered not abnormal, but it's not what ideal moon cycle is. So that, and also one thing is very interesting, that if you learn how to harness these powers, that is within you. It's not like you harnessing power of the moon. Moon is just illuminating and showing it to you. It's how you yourself recognizing also the strength, also recognizing the beauty, the love, ability to love, ability to maybe not to judge or something. Like it's your life, it's your world. But once you start recognizing that this is the real power, and then also we all creators, right? We all vibration, we all energy. We consist of energy. We are just walking energies. Our emotions are energies and motions. And then each of us have certain frequencies and certain vibrations. And then it's not like, oh, this is a bad frequency person and this is a good frequency person. It's not like that. We are soup of all these vibrations. The question is, are you deliberately vibrating, so to speak, or you are just by default? If someone pushes you, you're angry. If someone gives you something nice, you're happy. You're not really, you're at the mercy of the world. But if you start taking that power and then use it, guess what? Your manifestational powers, your ability to manifest and bring something to your world, to your life, is amplified during full moon as well. Okay. And ancient traditions from the beginning of time, they used it. They used that power, especially women. So what else? And one also very interesting fact from the ancient scriptures, from Sanskrit, and there was a couple of other scriptures that they describing that moon is actually getting distant every year. It's getting more distant from Earth, from planet Earth, almost like a centimeter, which is like a half an inch. So, and they calculated in 23 or 24,000 years from now, moon probably will disappear. And what they say, that when the moon disappears, this is when we become women, we become infertile, because our ovulation and our cycle and our fertility depends on the moon. So we're not going to have that factor that will, that will help us. So as a humanity, we still have like 23,000 years. We're not going to blow up ourselves before that. We'd be good. We have time to explore this planet. And on the physical level, we see people who have high blood pressures. We see people who have sleep problems and anxiety, or physical problems also. They experience more pain because for the same reason. Just like full moon can affect tides of the ocean, and you are 75% water, what makes you think it's not going to, affect your bodies? Of course it does. And thus, sometimes we have headaches, sometimes we have PMS as it grows, or premenstrual. So that happens. And also it changes the your sleep pattern. There is a phase called REM, R-E-M. So that state where we completely paralyzed. This is the phase that during full moon, that phase for women goes down and for men go up. Okay. Now you would ask me, so how do you harness it, and how do you use that, and how do you heal yourself when you have that? So there are many ways to do it, and very easy is your breath. You can use your breath as a medicine. It's so easy, and nobody knows that you're doing that, but you can. So always remember, on your right side, if you're breathing through your right nostril, this is your moon. If you're breathing through your left one, it is your sun. Okay. So during full moon, there is something that you could use, at the breath work you can use. You could just do alternative breathing. You inhale through your right, and then exhale through your left. And you could just sit there and just keep breathing, alternative breathing, just keep doing that. That's one of those things that actually can balance your parasympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic nervous system is one of those healing modalities that is actually very what you call it, deficient today. We're all running on sympathetic nervous system. Chop, quick, go. And that increases inflammation, that increases your blood pressure, that increases your spasm, that increases your anxiety. But and if you're always running with on the sympathetic nervous system, you become inflamed, you become frustrated, you become tired, you become all these things that happens to us, drained. That is because we just keep running on this sympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic nervous system is something that makes you balanced and peaceful. But when it's too much, then you become lazy and no motivation. Sympathetic is actually also very important. We need sympathetic to be sharp, quick, chop, chop. And this is how we succeed in life. This is our survival energy that helps us. So when we're doing this breath work, breathing through the nostrils, different nostrils, this is when you balancing during full moon. I wouldn't breathe through your left. I would breathe first through your right and cooling down that energy. Okay. So if you start your day with this, or even now before going to bed, you could just do 30 breaths through your right and then exhale through your left, and just keep doing that, 30 of them. That is one of the ways to do it. Now, in terms of manifestation, if you would like to harness this and create manifestational results, then you simply just you do that breath work for 30 days, for 30 breaths, and then you become relaxed, completely relaxed. So you close your eyes, and then mentally you just take a deep breath, but mentally watch the air going through your right nostril and then coming out of left. Instead of doing this, you just breathe, close your eyes, and just through your nostrils, just release it through your left nostril. Just attention and focus on that flow of the air will put you in a state within probably 3 minutes. If you do that, 3 minutes, that just enough will put you in the state of relaxed. And relaxed means abundant. When you abundance, it's not necessarily money, although it is, but abundance it could be abundance of time, abundance of health, abundance of beauty, abundance of activities, abundance of peace. It's just abundance. In the same time, you can have abundance of problems, abundance of this world is abundant, and each of it sector has its own vibration. So you want to tap into that abundance of health and beauty and whatever you feel is yours, and then just feel it and just bathe in that energy. If you do it 3 minutes a day, every day, it's healing. And then at the same time, you will start seeing opportunities, and because you're balanced, you're going to start noticing things that you haven't noticed before, and then maybe take that action and do it. See, so your body starts to react differently on physical level as well. And especially during full moon, you will amplify that energy. Okay. So that's another way of using full moon. Then there is also, especially the last moon, it's almost the last moon, but last moon after the Scorpio, which is basically it's the beginning of new season, Capricorn season, Sagittarius season. This full moon is also, it's almost like every time every quarter you have a full moon, it's considered the most important one, the most magical one. And it's important also remember to not to have any alcohol during those days, at least 2 days, 3 days before and after, because the impact of alcohol will be much more drastic whether doing it when you're not on the full moon. And then what else? Fasting is really also, it's very important, especially on every quarter of the year of the full moon. Then fasting is healthy for your mind, for your body, so that's also recommended. So yeah, and there's a lot of other things that been used from beginning of time. All these magicians used full moon, witches use full moon for the same reason. That's why we have this Halloween, this image of Hollywood that you have a full moon and the witch is flying. There's a reason why, because people harnessed it and used it. See, and then during war times also, because the moon was very important back in the days when the wars were just going and knifing and cutting each other. They used to use moon also, and they knew when to attack opponent when they're not stable. So they use that for that. So you could use that energy for good, and you can use that energy for bad as well. Like anything else in the world, electricity, you can kill someone or you can cook some food with electricity and eliminate the place. So that is just a little overview. It's been a half hour since I've been talking about this full moon. Do you guys have any questions so far or comments?
I know the the term lunatic comes from full moon.
Yep.
And oh, by the way, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Belated.
Thank you. Yeah, lunatic comes from that because people who were not mentally stable, they would usually show the signs during full moon. Yeah. Anything else? Well, that's good.
Last week you talked about the parasympathetic and the
Sympathetic.
sympathetic
Yeah.
nervous system. Can you just give like a thumbnail sketch, just a real quick?
All right. So let me just explain what we consist of. Sympathetic. There is a central nervous system that responsible for your thinking, seeing, moving. That is central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. And they will also have another department called autonomic nervous system. That is the one that's responsible for our hormonal functions and our organ functions. So they innervate your kidneys and liver and other things. So you can feel it, but they're responsible to produce certain hormones. They're responsible to produce certain functions in our body. And we have sympathetic, which is fast and quick, and we have parasympathetic. And it's been like our pathway consists of our adrenals. So these are the glands that's sitting on top of the kidneys that responsible for fight or flight phenomena. So back in the days when we used to live in caves, life was good. We had two problems to solve during the day: not to get eaten and find something to eat. Okay. And then once we have that, we would go to caves and have sex and have babies. Life was really good at the time. Okay. But we had to survive. And during that survival, we had to develop those instincts and those reflexes. When we see the opportunity, we have to jump on it. Meaning that if I am hunting and I see food, it's my opportunity. My sympathetic nervous system has to jump on it, okay, and grab it. The same thing, if I see the danger, if I see a tiger, my system goes danger, danger, danger. That's my sympathetic nervous system. So now I have to either fight with the tiger or I have to run. That's why it's called fight or flight phenomena. Okay. And when it happens, what happens is your body starts to produce certain hormones. For example, you're walking on the, not in the street, but in the forest. You're a caveman and you're seeing the tiger, and then the impulse comes to your brain: tiger, 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 danger, danger, danger. And then your body produces from your corticosteroid, how do you call it, the adrenals, from the cortex of adrenals, it starts to produce cortisol. Okay. And cortisol, we call it stress hormone today, but in reality, it's the hormone that is responsible for that type of events. like when it's very, very dangerous, and then you have to pull all your faculties and save yourself. That's what cortisol is for. Okay. So today we don't have a tiger, but when we see something on the streets, when we see something on the TV, when we talk about something, guess what? Our brain doesn't know if it's happening to us or if it's happening outside. It starts producing the same signals and sending the same signals to my adrenals and producing the same cortisol. Okay. And again, as a result, oh, this is so stressful. Oh, you're stressing me out. No, you're reacting to my behavior and you're producing cortisol. And guess who you're poisoning? You're poisoning yourself. Okay. So now, sympathetic is to make you fast, quick, to save your life. And then let's say you, again, in your cave, you found that there was a tiger and then you managed to run away. You come home, you don't talk to your villagers and say, oh my God, that was a tiger. I'm afraid I'm not going to go outside. I have anxiety. I probably need to see a shrink. No, you just shake it off because your parasympathetic nervous system is very balanced and you don't think about it. You see a piece of meat, you pick it up from the floor, you eat it. Life is good. So that's how it was. And if you look at animals, when they run away, like let's say gazelle runs away from the same tiger, and then she just shakes off and she just walks around like nothing happened. We lost that as a modern humans. We lost that because we think too much. And as a result, we think and we're constantly raving this sympathetic nervous system, constantly. And the parasympathetic is on the back burner. And then we get so tired and we go at the bar and then just get something to drink. And then finally, sympathetic nervous system relaxes and we feel better. That's why we drink. Or we do drugs for the same reason. You see, but it's all working on this sympathetic, parasympathetic pathways. So parasympathetic makes you peaceful when it's balanced. It's all about balance. But when it's not balanced, when it's too much, you become lazy, you become unmotivated. And that usually happens. Some people may not like it, but it is cannabis. Cannabis makes you unmotivated because it hyperstimulates your parasympathetic nervous system. But something that doesn't overstimulate parasympathetic is your breath work, is yoga. It's called showers, acupuncture. So they don't. And there's a device called Truvega. So it is a parasympathetic nervous system stimulator. It's basically, you just put gel. It has a gel like this. You put the gel, you find your vagus nerve, which is right where the pulsation is. You find it, and then you put it and you hold it for 2 minutes. Device turns off itself. So this stimulation is so far approved by FDA, approved for migraines and cluster headaches. It's being studied for PTSDs right now. It's being studied for anxiety and inflammation. So because everything is coming, all the inflammation, whatever you call, it all comes from this sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system overcharge and imbalance. So that's my answer, long answer.
So the way to balance it is through meditation, cold showers, you mentioned but your goal is to make sure the parasympathetic and the sympathetic become as close to equilibrium as possible. I mean, obviously it's going to change off and on, but you want to maintain a steady state.
Yes. So just like bipolar people, in bipolar disorder, you have a very, very heightened sympathetic, and then at the same time, very activated parasympathetic nervous system. That's why they go up and down, and it's so uncomfortable for them because first you feel all up, and then boom, you just plummet down, and it's very uncomfortable for them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else? So I guess that's it. Thank you for coming. Any suggestions about anything you want to talk about next Tuesday? It's up to you guys. You can submit that. You can send an email. Okay. Thank you so much for coming. Good night.
Sleep well. Go get them. Oh, I'll see you. I'm coming in 2 weeks. Back to New York.
Okay. Okay. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
Bye.